we first started talking about getting married, Nigel mentioned, what if we have a really big wedding and invite all of our neighbors?
We live in a neighborhood of 400 by 400 yards, and in that area are 4 25-story high-rise buildings. And in those buildings are 4,000 people.
As we kept talking, we realized a lot of our neighbors don't have cars. A lot of our neighbors would never step foot in a church building. And realistically, the only way they could come to our wedding is if the wedding came to them.
Should we go out there or out here? Let's go out here because we're going to show you the wedding site and everything. Folks don't normally have a wedding next to something like this, and it isn't always this bad, but as you can see, there's a bit of garbage strewn around today, but it really worked out well on our wedding day.
This is where we said I do, and we had all of the chairs right here and our neighbors, and you can see the buildings, and the whole neighborhood could hear our wedding, and a lot of people came down and joined the party when they heard songs and prayers in their languages.
Because we wanted to include as many people as we could in our wedding, we actually ended up deciding to have 2 wedding ceremonies and 2 3-hour receptions in one day.
I think as we make our major life decisions about who we'll marry, what our career will be, where we'll live, how we'll spend our time, I think we all have defaults in our life that kind of dictate or guide us in these decisions. As we were planning our wedding, there's so many cultural defaults that may not necessarily be bad or good, but they just are handed to us. And I really felt God speak to me to challenge how I would do our wedding and how we would live our lives, that our new defaults would be what would glorify God most.
To paraphrase 2 Corinthians 8 verse 9, Christ, who was rich, became poor so that we, through his poverty, could become rich. And as Jesse and I were getting married, we wanted our lives to reflect this verse, to intentionally become poor in some way by moving into a high needs neighborhood. And it has certainly enriched our lives.
Before we got married, people told us that we should maybe not live in our neighborhood for our first year of marriage, that we should take it easy and really build into our marriage. And we really felt strongly that we should stay in our neighborhood and that we should start our marriage by serving God together, because that's what we wanted our whole lives to look like. There's something powerful about seeking first God's kingdom with your spouse that makes your love go deeper and stronger than if you were just seeking first your marriage.